I guess a lot of you have heard of IAM and probably have some IAM initiatives going on in your company today. So I'm going to define the difference between IAM and CIAM. So we're going to start right at the foundation. So IAM is all about the governance, the processes, and the technology for managing the life cycle of users within your enterprise, and also the associated identities for those users. So that's basically your IAM environment. And what's really important about that is your governance and your processes. So key things. The technology, all it does is automate your processes. So that's why we focus on governance and technology and getting that right. When it comes to CIAM, it's a little different. So CIAM is really an enabler for organizations to securely capture and manage their customer identity and profile data, and to control customer access to applications and services. So we're talking about external. So it's the B2B, the B2C, and the B2E space. Now, how many of you here have a CIAM initiative either implemented or underway? Okay, a very small number, maybe 10% of you. How many have an identity management initiative either in place or underway? Or just about the same number? Do we miss some? How many of you have a PAM initiative underway? There you go. Okay. Well, PAM is definitely a no-brainer. If you don't have a PAM initiative in place today, there's no excuse if you get a cyber attack. So we're going to talk about the difference between the enterprise IAM, sometimes it's called EIAM, and your CIAM. Well, the drivers are a little different. So the enterprise IAM, we worry about things like compliance and how we address those through those automated processes where we remove the human element of risk. We're talking about operational efficiency, improved end user experience. That's probably the only thing they have in common. And security is really important. And a lot of times, you know, Sarbanes-Oxley compliance is a big driver for your enterprise IAM programs, as well as NIST standards, compliance to that. NERC CIP is a big one that we work with as well. On the consumer IAM space, it's all about enabling your customers and improving that end user experience, keeping that data secure, and being able to really improve the service offering that you have and cross-sell services easier to that end user. Make it easy for them to do business with you while at the same time remaining fully compliant with things like privacy and GDPR. In the enterprise IAM space, the mobile access is something that's nice to have, where on the consumer side, it's a must-have. We want to make it easy for consumers to do business and to access the business portal, and so we have to give them all the different vehicles to be able to do that and to make it secure as well. I think there was a study that said that, you know, quite a few clients would not want to do business, 50% or more, with a client, with an organization that didn't securely manage their data. On the scale perspective, you know, enterprise grade, we're talking about tens of thousands of users, maybe 100,000, maybe 200,000. If you're a government, 400, 500, 600,000. But with the CIAM space, we're in the millions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was talking to someone today, 16, 10. So tens of millions. Depends on the size of your business. If you're Amazon, depends who you are and what you do. The user experience, in most cases, you have a good user interface with your IAM systems, and there's not much more that you need to do there. But the user experience on the consumer side is one that often is customized, and it's all about that end user experience. You know, accessing the portal, how easy is it for them to use it, to navigate, to register themselves, to be able to do business across product lines and so on. The source of identity in the case of the enterprise is your HR system, usually. It doesn't have to be. It could be AD. It could be some other repository that you have. As long as it's authoritative, it doesn't matter what it is. But on the CIAM side, the source of identity is usually some self-registration process or a social login that whatever the preference is for either the customer or whatever options they have from the portal. The technologies for IAM versus CIAM are very different. And they're definitely distinct platforms. There's a lot more business involvement when you're running a project where CIAM is involved. It's, in some cases, it's the bread and butter of the business. That's how they sell, that's how they grow the revenues. So there's a lot of business people that take a very high interest in CIAM. And it's a lot easier to get approval for funding on those projects than some of the identity and access management projects, because the business is ready to put the money down to fix some of these problems, or to create that opportunity to be able to sell more services, or to sell more products rather, on the web. So this is a process view of the basic CIAM environment. So we start off with registration, and that's a process whereby, a new customer profile is established for the first time. And some of you are familiar with this, the example where you go into a bank and you open up a bank account, and now you're a customer of the bank. They get all kinds of information about you. That's kind of the registration process. That's followed by an enrollment. And that's where you go online and you do your registration there. You set up your preferences, your anything, your account, your password, and so on. And then that's followed by authentication and authorization. What can you see? What can you access? How are you going to authenticate yourself to the system? So basically, it's a little different than how we onboard an enterprise user when we onboard a customer